All I can say, Larry, is to the American people, promises made, promises kept.
Yep.
Donald Trump told you he was going to do everything to secure this nation, and that's what he's done. No talking points, no silly blue ribbon panels that go nowhere, that do absolutely decisive action with results. That's what Donald Trump has brought here. Listen, nobody wants to be in an out-and-out trade war. There's other things that need to occur. But Canada and Mexico, both of them, had to know how serious we are. They are going to commit the resources. The president, in my view, this is a win for him. But more importantly, this is a win for the American people. Fentanyl has been killing more Americans than anything else in our country, the number one cause of death between the ages of 18 and 45. The drug cartels have had operational control of both of our borders, Larry. This has got to change. Donald Trump promised it, and he has delivered.
I'm sorry, I'm still not tired of winning. I'm not. I'm not there yet. I'm going to be completely honest with you here. This is getting addicting. I think I am officially addicted to winning. I'm addicted to waking up every single morning with excited anticipation of what Trump is going to crush it on today. And there's no way I'm giving it up. There's no way, gang. I am 100% into this winning thing. Come on in, gang. Great to see you all here on our live stream Monday night. Can you believe it's only been 2 weeks? It's only been 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago tonight, I did our first Monday night. Well, actually, it was a Tuesday night because I was traveling back from D.C. after being at the Liberty Ball, where both Trump and J.D. Vance paid us a lovely visit. It was absolutely amazing. But it was just 2 weeks ago that I was reporting on Trump's first full day and his blitzkrieg of executive orders. I mean, gang, seriously, this is going to be going on for the next 4 years. 4 freaking years. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. As we always do on Monday nights, we'll be here on YouTube Live for about 20 minutes or so. We've got so much to talk about. I mean, every hour there's new news. My wife was just telling me she was having a conversation with a colleague of ours, a friend of ours, at the classical school I used to teach at. And she is so, said it's so funny because I'm listening to the news and that by the end of the hour, they have to change everything because Trump is moving so fast and the events are changing literally by the minute. So anyway, this is the golden age. It's absolutely unbelievable. He is dismantling globalism faster than globalists can even remotely keep up with it. So anyway, we have plenty to talk about tonight, but we are going to move that discussion over to our exclusive censorship-free virtual platform. So if you want to join us over there for some sweet fellowship and scholarly discussion, just scan that QR code. We don't have the QR code. I love our QR code. Just click on that link. Oh, we do. Yes, I love our QR code. I'm a Zoomer and I don't know what I've never gotten over the fascination I had when you scan that QR code, like that guy's shirt in the airport, and then you got it popping up in your phone. I'll just never get tired of it. But you can scan that QR code or click on the link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com/Monday-Q&A for a very small monthly fee. You can have access to our exclusive Q&As, our exclusive content, exclusive conversations and meetups, and you get access to all of our exclusive offers. So just click on that link or scan the QR code to become a member of our Courageous Conservative Club, where thousands of us gather together each and every week from all over the world online to restore the pillars of faith, family, and freedom as we do usher in a new conservative age. Wow, man. What do I say? Justin Trudeau. How did this morning start? How was Justin Trudeau talking this morning, right? He was a tough guy this morning. Oh, he was a tough guy. He was tough. He was talking tough. We're going to take down all the American products from our shelves. We're going to take down all the American liquor. We're going to buy Canadian. We're Canadians for Canadians. This is Canada first all the way. Wait, what's happening to me? Who am I morphing into? The now disgraced outgoing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau just took to X and basically wrote a carbon copy of the same tweet the president of Mexico wrote yesterday when she bent the knee. Quote, I just had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhance coordination with our American partners, and increase resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 front-line personnel are and will be working on protecting the northern border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. The golden age even includes now Canada funding a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada. I just pulled a Tucker. Didn't he say Canada once? Launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I've also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will backing it with $200 million. You cannot make this up. If I scripted this for you as a Netflix series, you would say, guys, that this is a little nuts. No one is going to believe this. There is no way Trump once walks into office and in 2 weeks basically changes the Western Hemisphere. There is no way. No one would believe that. You couldn't have scripted this better. I mean, do you realize what Trump just did here? I mean, you got to let this hit you. I haven't read anyone yet who's recognized this. Hey, that means it's specific to me. Yes. All right. You tell me, maybe you've seen this. Think about what Trump has just done in the last 48 hours. Trump has forced both Mexico and Canada to implement his border policies. Let that hit you. This is so much bigger than a presidential election, right? I mean, all the last year, Trump has been campaigning on instituting America First border security. And here's the key: on this side of the border, our side. So what's he done? He's declared a state of emergency at the border. He's deployed thousands of troops at the border. He's declared drug cartels officially terrorists. He campaigned on implementing America First border policies on our side of the border. But look at how he's governing. He's not only implementing America First border policies on our side of the border, he is forcing Mexico and Canada to do the exact same thing on their sides. Trump has turned Trudeau and the Mexican president into MAGA America First presidents, at least when it comes to border security. He is 3x'd border security. He just forced our two neighbors. What's a truly amazing 3 weeks. We are truly, but Muff, it's only been 2. It's only been 2. I know it feels like months, 3 months. I mean, time is almost liminal. It's just basically stopped. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, he just 3x'd our border security. He just forced our two neighboring countries to implement his radical border security measures. Radical in the sense that they need to be. They shouldn't be. They're just common sense. But based on what we've been seeing over the last 4 years, again, from 3 different countries on both sides of the borders, north and south, he has just forced our two neighboring countries to implement his radical border security measures on their sides of the border. Epic doesn't even begin to describe this. This is incredible. Again, this is more than I would have ever predicted. And everyone says, oh, Turley, you're so optimistic. Oh, you're so blindly optimistic. Oh, don't you? Isn't there a little bit of black pilling pessimism within you? No, we're in the golden age, man. The world is shifting to civilizational populism. I mean, but I not even I could come up with policies this astonishing. Shock and awe doesn't even begin. Our good friend Orrin McIntyre noted that Trump is taking scalps like a character out of Blood Meridian. I had to look up Blood Meridian. I guess I didn't know that, but that's a Wild West book. Now, I think it's very important to note here that this is not about Canada per se. Our fellow Canadian patriots, I think, know this. This is not about Canada. This isn't Trump giving Canada itself a hard time. He's giving Trudeau and a nation that has been ravaged by Trudeau a hard time. So this is Canada basically having now to reap what they have sown for the last decade with Justin Trudeau. And to think of, again, like I said, starting this morning, Trudeau tried to play the tough guy. He was going to take on Trump. Canadians were going to boycott U.S. goods. Canadians were going to buy Canadian. Again, they were going to be Canada first. So patently absurd if you think it through. Thomas, good to hear from you, my friend. Oh, look at that. Our fellow Canada has, first of all, like to apologize. As a Canadian here, first, I want to apologize for doing the national anthem. Ottawa fans not too bright. Second, I'd like to thank Donald J. Trump for closing our border. See, this is what I mean. This is so perfect. Yeah, no big deal with the national anthem. That's fine. Yep, you're perfectly free to do that, for sure, to boo the national anthem. No problem. But this is it. This is what people don't understand. So many people don't get. Trump has effectively turned Ottawa into MAGA. Make Canada great again. He is forcing Trudeau to implement his border policies on Canada's side of the border. It's amazing. And to think the media was actually rooting for Trudeau. The legacy media all this weekend was rooting for Trudeau. Oh, there he goes. He's going to finally take, just like they were doing the Mexican president. Oh, he's going to take on Trump. Yeah, Trudeau he's not intimidated. It was also patently absurd. I mean, the memes started coming out showing just how far Justin Trudeau was out of his league. Yeah. I mean, it's just so funny. I'm gonna tariff you back. Or others are illustrating how Canada or Mexico and Panama, Colombia, for that matter, had absolutely no leverage whatsoever, no political or economic leverage over the United States whatsoever. We talk about this all the time. Politics is about power. Politics is about power. Trump's got it. Trudeau don't. Trump's got it. Trudeau don't. Trudeau was just shown to be the complete joke that he always has been for the last 10 years, and now the whole world's seeing it. Take this from the Babylon Bee after it was announced that Trudeau caved. Historic. Man finally wins argument with woman. I mean, come on, guys, the Babylon Bee. That's screwing the cork in a little bit there. But what's really happening here, and you guys, if you've been part of this channel for the last several months or last years, you know this. And if not, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Be an honor to have you guys here as a regular part of our community. But what's really happening here is that this is a presidency unlike anything we've ever seen before, precisely because it's a presidency for a historic moment that we have never seen before. We're living in, just like I argue in my book, Fight, how Trump and the MAGA movement are changing the world. A little plug in there, just improvise that plug. I feel very, very proud of myself. I walk with a stride. We are living today in an age known as civilizational populism. It represents the collapse of the centralized managerial politics of a globalist elite on the one hand, and the rise of what's technically called a re-territorialized politics, a radically localized, regionalized politics that's redefining the world map on the other. So the one-size-fits-all liberal globalism that reigned supreme for basically 30 years and gave us jokes of leaders like Bush and Obama and Trudeau and Starmer and Merkel and Macron and Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, that world has now collapsed. That era is over. And Biden was the perfect symbol of the state of that world, a frail, dying, demented globalist world that, yes, still had power, could still inflict a lot of damage, but it was dying. It was gasping. It was running on its own fumes, basically. That world, that globalist world has collapsed, or is collapsing. Still has some power here or there. Thank you, Europe. And so political power is being revived in the process at the local level, the regional, the national. And as such, political power is shuffling off the characteristics of the managerial class and is instead taking on the characteristics of regional, racial, and religious identity. So we're moving from an era of globalist ideology to an era of nationalist or civilizationalist identity. And the reason why that identity is seeing itself in increasingly civilizationalist terms, it's because culture, custom, tradition, race, religion, region, these are all now the defining characteristics of the new politics of a new age. Gone are the transnational, trans-regional, transatlantic protocols, political and economic protocols of our managerial elite. Those days are over. Now politics is becoming radically civilizationalist. It's nothing less than a new conservative civilizationalist age where the wokeness of liberal globalism is literally crumbling into dust. That is the world that evidences Trump's rise and Trudeau's fall. And that is precisely the world that the entire world saw rising all the more today. Absolutely astonishing stuff. We've got so much to chat about tonight. Michael, why don't we should we take a couple of more questions and then move off platform?
Yeah, sounds great. Let's do that.
Awesome.
Guys, we have super chats to read through, and then we're going to head over to our club membership questions, where for only a small monthly subscription or an annual subscription, you can ask as many questions as you like. You don't have to pay, to get shown up on the live stream. So we've got a bunch of club members waiting for us to do that transition. But if you have any super chats that you'd like to ask questions with, then we'll be happy to answer those before we transition over to our live stream on our uncensored platform. So again, I'm going to put up this QR code for our Monday night Q&A. This is every Monday night. I know we've been off since the new year and since the golden age began, but if you'd like to scan the QR code or hit that link in the description, you are more than welcome to come and join a massive community of like-minded patriots. So before we head on over there, let's answer a few of your questions. I know I saw some super chats, so thank you guys so much. We had Muff with a great question earlier. Well, just a great observation of an amazing 3 weeks. A Canadian apologizing for their leader. We have a question from Davey. Thank you for the £2, Davey. Did USAID play a part in the, I guess, Trudeau?
I'm assuming, yeah. Given it, very good question. I don't know the answer to that. It may have played a part just in the sense of the writing on the wall, that there in the globalist era that was held together, the glue, the connective tissue. I probably should choose my metaphor, different metaphor. That connective tissue that held the globalist world together is precisely these kind of programs, these USAID programs, where you get these Soros NGOs and so forth that pop up, and then you have this USAID, and that funnels tax dollars into these left-wing NGOs, left-wing institutes, left-wing organizations, and that then in some way, shape, or form funnels back into the coffers of both let's be honest, Democrat and Republican politicians, primarily Democrat, because they own Washington. Republicans only ran it. So Democrats created this this infrastructure. In such a world, there's give and take. In such a world, there's a little bit like, hey, you guys gave us and are giving us all this money. If you want to see it back, you gotta make sure you grease our wheel too, or we could turn around and say we're not going to give you the money unless you comply here or there. Again, it usually wasn't a problem. Globalists always operated in the same sort of way. This is why Democrats never have a problem governing, because they all just want to grow government, whereas at least Republicans, they're a bit dysfunctional. Some want to grow government, some want to really slash it, like what we're seeing now. So that's why there's some dysfunctionality in government. So yes, when you had that infrastructure there, Trump could never pull something like this off. Now that he's taken out that connective tissue, Canada literally has nothing. They've got nothing whatsoever to compromise with. They don't have politicians they can buy off with this. It's gone. USAID is gone. Trump has crushed it by putting it under the auspices of the State Department. It's lost its cash cow significance, and is now going to be radically regulated in accordance with American interests. So I think it has something to do with it.
That's a great question, Dave. Thank you. We have $10 from Steve FPV. If you're going to give $10, ask us any question you'd like, Steve, but we really appreciate the $10.
And Canadian dollars. God bless you, brother. God bless you.
Canadian dollars.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
awesome.
Yeah. We have a comment from James. $5. Thank you so much. I was born and raised in Michigan, been over the border more than once. Soy boy doesn't have a prayer.
He doesn't. He's from an old era. He was from an old. I mean, he was Canada's Obama. That's how he depicted himself. He is from an old era. That era is gone, and he's finding that out. He's finding out he is no more relevant to today's world than the Jurassic era is.
We have a $5 super sticker from Marie M.
Thank you, Marie.
So much, Marie. And then Liberum X. In Spain, we're laughing at Trump's tariff. I jumped into the conversation and made them look like idiots by just explaining the concept of leverage. That's great, Liberum. Thank you for the $5.
Yes, Liberum, you're absolutely right. This is something new. So in the past, tariffs were primarily for raising money for the government before the income tax in 1913. And it was also to protect American industry. Or Britain would use the same thing. They would use tariffs to protect British industry and the like. It's a very nationalist tool, but Trump is doing something wholly different now. He is using tariffs in such a way to force his policies on neighboring countries, so that in effect, Mexico and Canada, at least when it comes to border security, are getting MAGA border security. It's stunning stuff.
That's amazing. Well, before we transition, I do want to show off some of our members' questions, because I think you guys ask some great questions every Monday and every Friday. So we're going to look at Terry Hurlbut's question. Do you expect the ceasefires in the Great North American Trade War to hold with Canada and Mexico? If so, do you expect the USA to defeat the Middle Kingdom, China, eventually? It's a great question, Terry.
Shall I? Yeah, you got it. Yeah. I do expect them to hold. There is, again, politics is about power, and there is absolutely no leverage whatsoever for Mexico or Canada. None. Trump can make their lives infinitely hard. They can't do anything in return. They can only fire upon without effect. That's a calculus. That's a losing calculus on their side. They're recognizing it. Or they could work with him, and he'll give them all the carrots that they want in the process. We'll have to see with China. It's a different deal. It's a different gig. And that was only a 10% tariff. And that does appear to be a bit more of a trade war. He's pushing back on China on trade. And of course, we just secured that agreement from the president of Panama, where he has withdrawn Panama from the Belt and Road Initiative. That's a big blow to China. They spent a lot of money, as I understand, several $1 billion building up ports around that area, particularly in the canal, and now they're getting closed. It's a very bold move, and we'll have to see. Trump is reasserting American dominance in a civilizationalist era. We already heard Marco Rubio use the term multipolar world. I think he's the first major American politician to use the term. He used the term multipolar world. We have to learn how to exist and defend American interests in a multipolar world. It is not a unipolar world anymore. So China is going to defend Chinese interests in its own regional and civilizational sphere, but Trump is making it clear we're going to do the same in our sphere as well.
Awesome. And I just want to finish up some of these super chats. Daniel, thank you for the $5. Is Trump serious about making Canada the 51st state, or is he negotiating?
Yeah, he's obsessed with Nordic power. He's obsessed with the Arctic. So right now, basically, Russia has monopoly in the Arctic now, and trade routes are now, as things are, the Earth is getting warmer. Whether it's global warming is a whole different, like the Green New Deal nonsense. No, but the world is getting warmer, and so travel routes, direct travel routes, are opening up there, and Russia is poised to basically govern those routes. That is going to be a new international trade route area, as well as all of the natural minerals and so forth that are up there, oils and black gold and so forth. So Trump wants American dominance there as well. He also wants it in the astropolitics, where we have dominance in outer space, particularly with all the satellites and space stations and Mars and all that. So that's why Greenland is so important. That's why he keeps pushing Canada to become a state. But in the end, I think what he wants is he just wants American dominance up around that Arctic region. And to probably get him to shut up about 51st state, Canadian leaders will most likely give him whatever he wants up there in terms of American presence. So I do think he's serious, because I think he's thinking in civilizationalist state terms. But I don't think well, we'll see. I don't think he actually believes it would happen, literally, but he's pushing that so as to be able to further integrate Canada and the United States, so that United States has access to the Arctic region.
Awesome. We just had a bunch of super chats pouring. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
We're good.
Sorry, I gotta give quick answers.
Yeah, we gotta transition over, and then I just got bombarded with a billion of them. So thank you guys so much. This is awesome. We got another $2 from Liberum X. Dr. Turley, I am proud of your work. You gave me hope.
Oh, thank you, Liberum. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we look. I mean, I quit academia to do this full time. To broadcast full time, because I was that convinced, based on academic studies, that we were entering into a new conservative civilizationalist world. I've been arguing that nonstop since November 1st, 2016. It's been a rocky passage into that world for sure. I was certainly hoping we were going to have more of these conditions in Trump's first term, but Trump was preceded by Brexit by about 3 months, June 23rd, 2016. And I believe Brexit was the shot heard around the world. It's a combination, a bit of the rise of China and Russia and India's civilizationalist states, with that bringing in a multipolar world, Brexit signaled the beginning of the end of globalist institutions like the EU. And I just thought it was a matter of time. And so I was able to quit academia, go full-time because of guys like you, go full-time into broadcasting and just talk about the rise of a new conservative, civilizationalist, nationalist, populist age. It was, yes, thwarted to an extent over the last 4 years, but not ultimately. And we knew it would break through eventually. And so here we are. So God bless you, man.
Yeah, thank you, Libram. We have $10 from Gremlin. Hi, Dr. Steve. Did you ever get around to looking into that website, We Are Bridge, yet? And if so, what do you think?
I did not. Oh, well, wait a minute now. Well, no, I don't. I'll look at. I'll write it down and is it an org or com? I'll check it out. Sorry, Gremlin. I will check it out.
Well, thank you for the $10, and we will get on that, Gremlin. Awesome. We have $50 from Robert Rondholz. Thank you so much for the $50, Robert. That's amazing. And he says, thanks for getting me through those tough and turbulent times, Dr. Steve.
Oh, yes, that old tagline will not be missed. keeping you sane in insane times, or what was it? Right. Just helping you through these troubling and turbulent times. Absolutely, yeah. We tried to make sure that you were able to get through those 4 years in a steady way, not get swept up with the latest nonsense. To always be able to relativize what was happening each day in that insane, pathetic White House that the legacy media were cheerleaders for, to always relativize it in light of this larger civilizationalist world that was rising. And now the two have become one. And that's why we're having so much fun.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Robert. And
Thank
in a
you, Robert.
similar vein, Dee, I want to say $20. Dr. Steve kept us positive in some scary times. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dee. Yeah, they were scary. That's for sure. There were a few times things were getting. I mean, when he was sending missiles, when he was green lighting American attack and missiles from Ukraine being sent into the heart of Russia, that was scary. That was very scary. But fortunately, he's done. He's gone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dee. Mike asks, will ownership of U.S. farmland and resources be a leverage point?
Now, that's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. I'll have to look into that. Obviously, this is the most pro farmland and pro resource farm resource administration we can imagine having, as is RFK. So that's a very good question. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, well, we're seeing Trump throw around the U.S.'s weight in the Western hemisphere. So maybe if he starts with China and with some other enemies.
Yes, that's right. Well, we're already seeing it more at a local level. Red states are now are barring China from buying farmland.
Yeah, that's awesome. Libram X just won't go away. They're committed to this. It's awesome. What do you think, Javier, about Javier Milei and Trump working together, I guess?
No, I love it. Absolutely love it. Javier is amazing. Nayib Bukele is amazing in El Salvador. It's great. He in many ways he's taking the place of Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil, who's elected in 2018 as president. Again, it was a mind-blowing landslide. By the way, he's beating Lula just overwhelmingly in the polls right now, but they're doing everything they can to throw him into prison, just like applying the same kind of lawfare against Trump. So yeah, I love Javier Milei. The miracle he's pulling off in Argentina is incredible. He'll get reelected by comparable proportions to Nayib Bukele. And hopefully that's going to cause Colombia. I know Colombia has their election coming up. Their left-wing Marxist president there, Gustavo Petro, he's extremely unpopular. So hopefully they can have someone like an Ivan Duque, who they had previous. The Colombian president was very, very good. He was very conservative and the like. Hopefully we'll start to see Latin America shift away from these stupid socialists and start embracing their own make fill in the blank great again at the heart of it and be a part of this rising civilizationalist hemisphere.
Awesome. Thank you again, Liberum. Daniel, and this will be our final super chat, unless something insane happens in the next 5 seconds. Daniel asks, do you believe Trump will end income taxes?
I believe anything right now. I honestly do. I think we're allowed to, as he told us to, dream big and boldly in the golden era. I would not be surprised. It would be astonishing. It would be amazing. But the Internal Revenue Service has been so weaponized, and income taxes have been used to divide us for so long, particularly by the Democrats. They use everything to divide us. That's how they do a divide and conquer strategy, so that the bad guy is always some group in the United States. I think it's time. I think it's time to go back to do sort of an archeo future, go back to pre-1913 levels. If Trump also if he implements the plan, which he will, implements the plans with Bitcoin reserves, with the way Bitcoin has been exploding, the way Nayib Bukele in El Salvador has been able to double his state revenue just with the Bitcoin reserve. I mean, just sky's the limit for the trillions of dollars that they can raise as the world's default currency, as well as the world's default store of value. The United States just doesn't need to tax its citizens. Remember, we needed a constitutional amendment. It's the 16th Amendment to invoke an income tax. Prior to that, it was unconstitutional to tax American citizens directly. Let that hit you. It was unconstitutional. Our founding fathers thought it unconstitutional to tax Americans directly. You had to tax, and you couldn't tax on our exports. You can only tax on imports. You can only levy fees and the like. And now, of course, we have bonds, so you can actually lend the government money, buy a T-bill and collect some yield. And they can they are the default investment for the world right now as the reserve currency. And right now it looks like Trump is ready to keep that reserve currency status for the foreseeable future. So we'll have to see. But I think the time has come.
Yeah, I think if that happens, they need to start chiseling on Mount Rushmore immediately. That has to happen stat prontos, and end the talks of giving that back to the natives. Just keep adding, keep adding. The biggest
absolutely.
one, the biggest head on there needs to be
That's
Trump.
right.
It's all
That's right.
amazing.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, that's a great one to end on, Daniel. Now, before we transition over, I want to give you guys another opportunity. Again, you guys can ask your super chats if you're just watching us on YouTube or Rumble. You can pay per question on these super chats, or you can just join us like 5,500 other people have already done, and join us on our Monday Q&A uncensored platform by scanning the QR code or clicking the link below. And you can join us for just a monthly subscription or an annual subscription, and you can ask as many questions as you like, and we will transition over to our uncensored platform where many of our members are waiting for us, as they're watching us patiently answer these super chats and waiting for their turn. So we're going to transition over to there very shortly if I can find the video, there it is, in 30 seconds. See you guys over there.